peel the banana. We haven't had to do that in a long time, y'all.
No, we
We've
haven't.
just been flowing.
That's a good
That's
sign.
Do you want to let the listeners know what peeling the banana refers
Yeah.
to?
Well, I mean, early on,
Tell the people our secret.
yeah. Well, I don't know how much of a secret this is or if it was really that beneficial. But yeah, I mean, early on when we were kind of stumbling through this all the time, not that we don't still stumble through it yet, so we still do. But when we were really stumbling through it and, we were really trying to like figure out the whole format of things and how we we're going to make this whole thing happen, we'd get a little too into it and forget that at the end of the day, we were just three jokers hanging out, talking about wine. So every once in a while, we would have to peel the banana, and we can do this for our friends who are watching the video too, where we would peel the banana. You would go peel banana, peel the banana, peel the banana, peel the banana, go bananas. And I gotta tell you, I only know this from watching Family Guy. I was in Family Guy. I'm sure it's like
It feels like a camp thing.
well,
Yeah,
not even a
very
camp
campy.
thing, but like a improv warm up or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it has that kind of I
Sure.
think that's probably where it comes from. But yes, I mean it got us through some difficult times, didn't it?
You also
God.
you soften the edges. Like it wasn't just like when we were getting too into it. It was like we were getting annoyed at each other, and then it
Yeah.
got awkward because we were like, "Why
Yeah.
are we getting mad at each other? We're drinking
That's true.
wine and doing a podcast. Like
This
it's
is
just like
serious. This matters a lot.
someone's getting visibly angry. And so
Yeah.
I'd be like, do we need to peel the banana right now?
We need to peel the
Yeah.
banana.
Yeah, there were quite a few bananas peeled at the beginning, but
There were.
we've kept all our bananas on the trees
Yeah.
recently. So
Yeah, moving on. Well, that
It's a
can
good
change
sign.
tonight.
Oh man.
yeah.
We can get saucy.
Aaron
What the hell,
Aaron
man?
came with fire in his belly.
Really? We're
Yeah.
having a good
All right.
time. We're talking. We're having fun. And all of a sudden, you come in here with that negative attitude.
Joel,
You just really bring it down.
Joel,
What?
Joel, calm
What?
down.
Do we
Peel
need
the
to
banana.
peel the banana?
Let's
Do we
peel
need
the
to peel the
banana.
banana?
Yeah, let's do it. Can we peel the banana? Peel the
Banana.
banana. Peel the banana. Peel the banana. Now go bananas. All right. I feel better. Thank you. That was good.
All of our new listeners this week are like, what did I get into?
We lost him.
What is this? Yeah. Dial tone.
Welcome to Stop Wasting Your Wine, a wine review podcast where we waste our wine so you don't have to. On this episode, we review
a red wine from California.
Hey, thanks so much for coming back and listening to another episode with us. We're so happy you decided to join us. I am Joel, and of course, today, as always, I'm joined by two of the biggest homebodies that I know, Colin and Aaron. Hello, gentlemen. How are you? In your homes, coming to us live from your homes. How are you?
Live from my basement in my little podcast studio desk area. People, when they visit, they're like, "Can we see where you do your podcast in your basement?"
Underwhelming. What are they expecting?
Yeah.
The microphone and the boom stand is like awe-inspiring for people. People see the microphone boom stand and they're like, "Oh."
You know what you need to do is put up some like egg crates on the wall to really give it that feeling. That would really sell it.
Yeah, it just insists it's like complete like silent. Like
yeah,
stumbling. I'm forgetting all words right now. By the way, that was hard.
Words are hard.
Soundproofing.
That's what it is.
Soundproofing.
Yes.
No one upstairs can hear me.
Very
nice.
Good. Yeah, really.
I record in my kitchen, so I have to take my setting down after every podcast and put it up right before we start. It's not a great setup.
It's in the way of breakfast.
It does. It's what I'm working with at the moment.
You should build a little shisha in the backyard, little recording studio.
Yeah, I live in a townhouse, so don't have much of a backyard. So
that's hard.
There's that.
And I got to tell you, I wasn't trying to call you guys out, but after last week talking to Jim about how he just decided to start doing a trip to, I believe it was Barcelona. We've been talking to so many great people. We talked to Ashwin a couple weeks back, who just decided to move his life to Italy. And it's got me thinking, I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing? We're not going anywhere.
Yeah, man. Like I think, like, my biggest life jump was, like, growing up in New Hampshire and being like, "I need to do something different," and going to college down in Orlando and meeting you knuckleheads.
That's
But,
true.
like, since then, a vast majority of my travel has been, like, demanded upon me. It's like
Yeah.
you have to go to a you're going to a wedding, you're going to a bachelor party, you're
Yeah.
going to a thing, and it's like we probably a handful of chosen vacations
Mm,
in my adult life that I would love to be more into. Like, I would love to
sure.
travel more, but, like,
Yeah.
until that daycare money is not going to daycare anymore, you know?
Heard.
But
Yes.
Yes.
I have some forced traveling coming up, so it's gonna be
Where are you
good.
going?
Well, I know I mentioned a gym in a month. I'm gonna be out in Napa,
That's
for
right.
a wedding out there I'm very excited about.
Yep.
That same friend's bachelor party, I
Mhm.
just got back from that. We were in Austin, Texas. That
Nice.
was exciting. And I'm gonna be in Orlando,
That's where
where
we
you
Say
live.
2 live.
what? Say
What?
what?
When is this?
At the end of July, it's for a work conference, so it's
Oh
like
man.
forced vacation, but I have plenty of time to come see you guys. So we should do a an episode where we're all actually in the same place.
I think that'd be a
Can
fun
we do
idea.
that? Is that even possible?
Yeah, we can all sit around my kitchen table and it'll be terrible.
Perfect. But we have to clean up after.
Yeah, no, you'd have to. You'd have to. I'd have no place to eat.
We should just go, like, set up
I
all we
love it.
should pretend we're very legit and go set up, like, at a wine bar and, like, bring in all our equipment and be like, can we do our podcast here?"
We could maybe make that
I
happen.
we could totally make that happen. I mean, I have a feeling there's one or two, especially close to where we live, Joel, that
Yes.
would 100% be okay with that.
Maybe be a part of it too. That could be kind of
I
fun.
would think so.
Let us have
So
some
look, then we're not
conversations.
homebodies anymore. We're in a
Yeah,
bar
this is
recording a
good.
podcast in the
Hey,
world.
can I tell you something, Aaron? Orlando, there's worse places to go, but there's a lot better too. It's not that bad.
I'm
Man,
so excited.
what yeah, no. Come on down. Ish.
Well,
That
I'm
should be
assuming that's why you
the
guys
new
don't go
campaign.
anywhere. You're in the center of the
Maybe
universe. You're
that's
in
true.
Orlando, Florida. Where else would you
Yes,
go?
that's very true.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, that's true.
I've
That's
been to
true.
Epcot. I've seen it all. I don't need to go anywhere else.
Traveled the world many times,
Yeah,
and I've drank
many
around the world.
times.
Drank around the world. So
What else do I
there you
need to
go.
see? There's
Yeah,
nothing else out there.
nothing.
I'm afraid there's people out there who don't know us and think that we're being serious. So I'd like to put a little disclaimer out there that we are not. Thank you.
Yeah, and I won't take any offense to being called a homebody because in real life, I totally am. I'd much rather just be at home.
You know what's funny? I like just on a given weekend, I love our neighborhood. I love where we are, and I want to be a part of the new places going on and the breweries and the restaurants and all of this stuff. So like we will, especially before a kid, like we were always somewhere, always going somewhere on the
Sure.
weekends. A little bit less so, but I don't know. I wake up and I'm like, I don't want a day where just like we sit around the house all day doing whatever. We're building in something going somewhere. Gotta do something.
Joel, you travel a lot for work too, though.
I
I
do.
feel like every couple weeks you're like, guys, I can't record this week. I'm gonna be somewhere. Is that do
Yeah.
you enjoy that aspect of your job, or is it so business oriented that you don't even get like kind of the joy of traveling?
I do. I enjoy it. I enjoy it. And it's the business part never really gets in the way of the enjoying the city. Like, my work is very like 8:30 to 5. Like I'm done at 5. Maybe we'll do a dinner or something like that. But I usually get the chance to enjoy the city I'm in, which is awesome when I'm in
So cool.
Chicago or New York or Grand Rapids, Michigan, like cool spots to explore. There are some other places, I'm not going to call them out, but I've got customers in some other cities that are less desirable to go around. So maybe I just hang out in my La Quinta suites and relax that night and don't really need to go around. But
Should put an accent on that.
I take the good with the bad, that's for sure. But I enjoy it for the most part. All right. Well, hey, listen, we'll make some plans at some point here and get somewhere. But for the time being, we're gonna have to stick to recording in our respective homes and making this magic happen virtually. But we'll continue to do that for now. Let's get into it, though. So up front, we mentioned we were drinking a red wine from California. Aaron, tell us a little bit more about the wine we're going to be trying today.
Okay, so as we mentioned, this is a red wine from California. This is from Caliveda Cellars. They are in the Napa Valley. This is their Pinot Noir Reserve. So they have a Pinot Noir, and then this is the reserve version of that
The fancy
wine.
stuff.
That is one of their flagship wines. This is the 2022, and it has an ABV of 13.5%. And we got this for about $23. I believe it was on sale at the time. I think it usually runs around 25.
All right. Perfect. Sounds good. I think it's fun. We've kind of been all around lately. We went back and hit, France pretty hard. We've been in Germany. I know we had Jim come on last week and we got to enjoy his wonderful wines that he makes in California, but we haven't done a proper review of a California wine in a couple of episodes. So nice to be back to do a review of a California wine. So
we were on a white wine kick for a while.
We were.
We were tearing through white wines, and even though we had a red wine last week with Jim, we also had a Riesling. So we've been just rolling through everything. So
can I tell you something about that Riesling too?
Reds.
Kathy and I drank that
Riesling was incredible.
2 days after we opened it too. I drank so much of it that night. I probably 86'd about half the bottle, and then we were busy the next day. Day after that, Kathy and I were like, "Oh, we should enjoy the rest of that Riesling." It was still so good. It was still so good.
So good.
I don't know how. I gave it that little tester taste you do when you're like, I don't know about this. It's been open for a little bit. It was so good. I mean, we had it, I had it in the fridge. I had it corked pretty good in the fridge, and it was amazing.
I don't know how that wine made it multiple days in your fridge. All the Territorium wine was gone within 24 hours.
It was purely because we were busy that second day, and we 86'd the Pinot first, and then went to the Riesling. That's the only way that long.
And I was going to say, this is kind of a big swing coming off the Territorium Pinot. I mean, that wine was phenomenal. And I know we should kind of look at each wine in a vacuum and kind of experience it. But it's going to be really hard not to compare this to that, because that was just so good.
Yeah.
So, Pinot Noir, not necessarily a huge swing, but coming off the back of an amazing wine like we had last week with Jim, I think this is gonna be an interesting one for sure.
The bar has been set pretty high, so I'm intrigued.
Yes, it has.
So considering all that, and this was your choice this week, so tell us why you went with this California Pinot Noir this week.
Yeah, absolutely. So when it's my turn to choose a wine, I've been trying to find different reasons. Like last time, I just looked for something that I've never had before. And this time, I feel like Pinot Noir is a wine that is one of the first wines people think of. Even if it's not the wine everyone drinks, it's very much in TV. Do you guys remember Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt?
I do remember the show.
Yeah, there was a whole song about Pinot Noir in there from one of the characters, and it's just a wine that's permanently in my head. And so I just kind of looked on Total Wine, and it was just kind of looking for one that was kind of in our price range. But this time, instead of kind of looking for official points or official reviews, I looked at the purchaser reviews. I wanted to see the general number of stars that the people who have actually gone and bought the wine and then took the time to leave a review about the wine. Because, kind of like Yelp, if people take the time to leave a review about something, it's because they really, really liked it or really, really did not. Not a lot of people leaving reviews over an average experience. And this one had
very true.
And this one had a whole bunch of people giving it 4 or 5 stars. A lot of people talking about how it was a Pinot Noir they really enjoyed. A lot of folks who said they enjoy the normal Pinot Noir and then found the Reserve and liked it that much more. So I thought that was an interesting take, and that's why I picked it.
I'm going to call this this is the Tomatoes audience score pick of wine for you.
Exactly.
That's what this, maybe this will be like The Mummy 2, where the critics were like, "That's not that great," but the people were like, "No, it was awesome." So
Those are my
we'll see.
favorite movies when the actual score is like 43 and then the audience
Yeah.
score is like 95. Independence Day is like that. Independence Day and Armageddon, two of my favorite movies of all time, are both like
Armageddon?
totally panned by critics and then like loved by the people.
What? That
Yeah.
blows my mind. I remember that as like a pivotal
Enter Asteroid.
movie, blockbuster movie in my youth. So it never even occurred to me that critics would have panned it. My gosh.
Well,
Learned something new today. Speaking
we'll find
of,
out.
Colin, what are we doing? Are we going
Well
to learn
done.
something today or what?
This is the only thing you will learn.
Yeah, we are going to learn something today. And I wanted to switch it up a little bit and play a little game. And maybe the listener can help us out here because it's going to be true and false questions. But we like
Okay.
to jazz our names up on the show a little bit. We have Pinot and Chardonnay. You know, it's like the true and false just seems so boring and
So boring.
unoriginal. I'm kind of boring and unoriginal, so I had a hard time coming up with some other names for
Oh,
this segment.
Colin.
So listeners at home, if you guys could help us out with that, and we'll have Aaron post something on Instagram, and maybe you
love
guys
this.
can come up with a name for us.
Yeah. So maybe the Stop Wasting Winos can help us name this. And to be clear, we need, you see how I slipped that in there? We need something along the lines of like true or false, fact or fiction, something like that, but wine plenty. And we're looking for the Stop Wasting Your Wine community to help us come up with this. Maybe we got something for the winning person who has the most creative name.
Stickers.
We got
Yeah,
stickers.
stickers. There we go.
There we
So
go.
many stickers.
Help us out.
Love that.
Okay.
Love that.
Today we're just going to call
All
it
right.
true or false.
True or false? We're just going to true or false.
Okay.
So we're gonna do that.
I'm into it.
So I have 6 questions and a tiebreaker if we need it. And I asked ChatGPT to randomly choose between Aaron and Joel 11 times so that there wasn't a tiebreaker, and it came back with 7 Joels and 4 Aarons. So Joel is going to
Could you
go first.
imagine? Also, I like
So
that.
uncomfortable. I don't
I
like
like-
the computer deciding how many errands there should be.
Well,
So it has
did
to
you
be
not
coming to the
have a
end.
did you not have a quarter laying around, Colin?
Yeah, but I was on my computer. So and no, I didn't have a quarter. I was at
Okay.
work.
Fair
and
enough.
I didn't have any
Well,
change on me.
I won,
plus,
so I think it's a great idea.
Joel's and Aaron's popping up is a lot more fun than heads or tails. So
I'm
you know.
adding my glass tat to this game now. It says
Ooh.
Merlot, you didn't.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
I love that.
Perfect,
I gotta
perfect
get-
sentiment for this moment right here.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes, indeed.
Merlot, you didn't.
All right. So these are
Sorry,
going
continue.
to be true or false questions about the Pinot Noir grape, since that's what we're drinking tonight. So,
All right.
Joel,
Yes.
first question, and this is a little bit about the grape.
Okay.
The Pinot Noir grape cluster resembles a pine cone, which is how it got its name. True or false?
False.
No, that's actually true.
No.
Pinot is French for pine. They called it Pinot
Oh.
Noir because the grape clusters kind of look like a pine cone. So
Wow. That just
Yeah.
sounded
No, it's
so
French
far-fetched
for
that I thought
pine.
that wouldn't be true.
yeah, but that's
Right.
pretty cool, right?
All
All right.
Missed opportunity by Joel.
Not a
Yeah.
good start. Let's see how this plays out.
All right, Aaron. True
Okay.
or false? Pinot Noir is notoriously difficult to grow due to its susceptibility of disease and rot.
False.
Nope, that's actually true as well. Pinot Noir is one of the pickier grapes to grow for those reasons. It's really, it requires a very specific climate, and if it isn't able to thrive, it can get a little wonky.
The kid's back
fine.
in it.
Back
I'm
in
the
it.
kid.
Back in it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Shucks.
All right. Number 3, Joel. Speaking of climate, Pinot Noir thrives in warm, sunny climates with minimal rainfall. True or false?
Okay. I feel like you're trying to throw me with that last part because I do think it's a warm weather grape, but I feel like it needs some rain. So I'm going to say true.
No, false, actually. No.
You were talking yourself in the right direction. And
Yeah,
you blew
but
it.
then
Totally were.
I decided
Totally
to
were.
go against my first thought because that has not
Yep.
been working for me. so
That's
far.
and you were
Did I
actually
call it out?
working towards the right direction, but with the wrong ideas. So
Okay.
Pinot Noir actually thrives in a cool climate.
I
Uh,
guess okay. That's why like Northern California. In
yeah,
my head,
that's right.
okay, fair. All right. Well, I'm an idiot.
Yeah,
Go on.
and it actually needs quite a bit of rainfall. It doesn't do well in excessive heat or drought conditions.
Well, the audience is going to learn a lot just from Colin explaining to us why we're
Yeah.
wrong.
I'm glad you know
right.
all of this. This is great stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought it would be an interesting way to get some information across. So
Yeah.
all right, true, Aaron, true or false? Pinot Noir gained popularity in the 2000s partially due to its prominent feature in the movie Sideways.
Are you Googling
I
it?
know.
Don't Google
Oh,
it.
no. I know that there was a wine that got totally screwed by Sideways, and there was a wine that did not get screwed by Sideways, and I don't remember which is the one that got screwed by Sideways and which is the one that didn't get screwed by Sideways. So I'm going to say true. I don't think Pinot Noir was not the one that got ragged on, right?
No, you are right. Pinot Noir is the Merlot is the one that got ragged on
Yes.
in Sideways. So,
Woo.
uh,
Oh,
and that doesn't really that fact is neither here or there. I just thought it was fun.
it's a very fun fact. I got a point from
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Whoop-de-doo.
No, but
All right.
but that is an
No,
important fact, right?
that's
Because we
well
talked
done.
about how there was an actual impact on the
Yeah.
wine market
Yeah,
with the like
for sure.
decrease in sales for Merlot because of freaking
Yeah.
Paul Giamatti.
Yep, that's right. That's right.
That's true.
So, all right,
Oh,
Joel.
Yes. This is the last round,
This
right?
is no, that was 3.
Okay. Okay.
Joel,
Yes.
true or false? Pinot Noir
Mhm.
is most commonly associated with the Bordeaux region of France.
And can you repeat the question, please?
Sure. Pinot Noir is most commonly associated with the Bordeaux region of France.
True.
False.
I'm a
Pinot,
fucking
Noir,
idiot.
Pinot Noir is most commonly associated with the Burgundy region of France.
Oh, okay.
Well, that was me.
I
yeah.
at least feel better about that one because I mixed
Yeah,
up
you were-
Bordeaux and Burgundy.
You were in the right country. You were in the right country. But yeah, the Pinot Noir's ancestral home is actually in Burgundy, and you will find some of the most expensive and what they say are best Pinot Noirs. I've unfortunately never had any of the top tier ones. I have had some Burgundy, and they are usually very good. But so something to look out for, Pinot Noir from Burgundy, if you can afford it. All right, and then so this is Aaron actually already won, but
Yeah.
we're still going to
I want to learn.
wrap. Yeah,
Apparently I
we're gonna
need
wrap
to.
it up. All right. So, Aaron, true or false? Pinot Noir usually has big, bold tannins and high acid.
True.
False.
Fudge. It's the
Yeah.
acid.
Nope. No, it's the tannin part. Pinot Noir usually has low to medium tannin. Can have high acid. So, you might have been thinking that, but usually Pinot Noir is not going to have high tannin.
This game is
So-
hard. This is
hard. It's hard not knowing things about things.
So, Aaron, good job. And if you guys want to hear the
Victory.
just
Can
for more
we-
learning sakes,
Yeah, I would like
yeah,
that.
I want to learn
Please.
more.
okay, you wanna buzz in, one of you, and then this won't count. Aaron already won, so Joel, you can't win here. But just for
Sucker.
you know,
You gotta
But
yell
maybe
back
for
at us.
some bragging rights, a little saving
Yeah.
dignity just slightly. Let's do it.
all right.
How do you want us to
First
buzz?
person,
Yo, buzz.
first person. That's fair.
Just say buzz. What if I go bing?
Ready? That's fine
Look
too.
out.
Okay.
No, that's fine. Any kind of audible
Onomatopoeia.
Audio clue. Okay.
noise. Yeah, that's right. Thank you, guys. And this would have been the tiebreaker, but Pinot Noir, true or false, is often described as having flavors of cherry, raspberry, and mushroom.
Bing.
Auga.
Aaron,
True.
that is true. Well done. Well done.
I knew that one.
You were
Describe
too
Pinot
busy
Noir-
thinking about the noise you wanted to make.
That is 100% correct. And then I went with the one that starts with a soft A, Yuga, which
So I wouldn't have heard it anyway.
compared to the Bing, so inferior. So you picked the right buzzword and the right answer, and I congratulate you. Well done.
All right. Very,
Word.
very,
Thanks.
very good job, Aaron. Absolutely crushed it that time. And that was a little, hopefully a fun way to learn a couple facts about Pinot Noir.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I feel discouraged slightly. Feel like I need to go read a book, but it was a lot of fun. Thank you. Thank you.
But that's what that
You know what?
segment's all about, right? Is
That's true.
learning. So hopefully you can walk away from that segment having learned a little bit about Pinot Noir.
I think this just goes back to what I was saying about, why I picked this wine. We have not talked about Pinot Noir that much, and
We have not.
like Pinot Noir is not usually a wine that I buy, and I don't know about you guys if it's one that you pick up more often, but I actually don't know that much about a wine that's just a very commonly known red wine. So
Yeah, Pinot Noir is actually one of my absolute favorites. So I do tend to drink quite a bit of Pinot Noir.
all right
Nice.
then.
Well,
Yep.
then that's just making me more and more excited to actually give this thing a try. So, what do you guys think? Let's do it.
Should we smell it?
Let's smell it.
Let's
me
smell it.
Tastes like wine.
All right, guys. Well, let's give this thing a go. Let's get our noses in there, see what we got. Aaron, I'll go to you first today.
Well, this is an aromatic wine for sure.
sure
There's
is.
a lot going on in there.
Is there a lot going on, or are the few things that are going on just very intense?
I mean, it's intense.
an
It
interesting
is an
question.
intense smell. I don't know if you'd know better than me, but I don't know if I'd say a few things. Like my level 0 nose, I'm like, there's cherry, there's like raspberry jammy kind of aspect. You get those big fruit notes hitting you real good. I won't say too many things that are probably wrong, but what do you think, Colin?
So far, I agree with
The first thing I get are the big oak notes. This is just, you get just a ton of that wood, almost, it smells like wood. This is one where you not only get the oak influence of the big vanilla notes, but it also just actually smells like cedar or something like
Made
that.
in a campfire.
Definitely.
Inside of a barrel. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing I pick up right away. And then I agree with those fruit notes. Definitely some jammier fruit, some red fruits.
Yeah. Well, you said big oaky notes, which definitely, but to me, there's also big cherry. Like there's big fruit in here. And to me, like one doesn't necessarily overpower the other. Like they're both strong, they're both prevalent, but they're both to me somewhat equal in there. And I'm not gonna lie, I think it smells pretty fun.
And I would say this, it's like big. I also like have like the vanilla aspect
Yeah.
that we get from a lot of deep reds. I would say we've smelled some wines before where they have, the smell has been really big and almost artificial, and I don't know if it's that. Like I'm not getting like the artificially flavor the smells. I'm not getting like this was added to smell like something, but they're definitely intentionally big, right? Like this feels like a choice.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. It has to be with that much oak on any wine. It has to absolutely be a choice. Whether this, spent all of its time in oak barrels or they added oak staves or there's another kind of addition. I'm not saying they added oak flavor, but there are other ways to add oak to a wine than just having it aged in barrels. But there's a ton of oak. That's actually the one thing it really, for me, pushes everything else out of the way. I really just get that oak, and then there's fruit underneath the oak, but the oak is what I get first.
Cool.
All right. Well, let's give it a sip.
Yahoo.
Auga.
Merlot, you didn't.
Oh boy. All right, Aaron, I'll go to you again first. What are you getting?
Yeah, I mean, I don't. There's nothing surprising to me about the flavors from the flavor notes. Like it's a lot of just what we're smelling. Like it's a lot of that heavy cherry flavor, the oak, the vanilla, like that. That is all there. It's not like the smells there and the flavors. It's not thin by any means.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cornucopia of tastes for sure.
I like that. Is that from that
Yeah,
book?
I will say.
No, but I should get the book. By the way, did you guys see how cool the author of the book like commented on our Instagram?
Yeah, that's pretty
That
cool.
was very cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was so neat.
What's it called again?
The book is called Wine Convo Generator, and the woman that wrote it, Chastity Cooper, commented on our Instagram. That was kind of neat.
Very cool.
Pretty
note.
cool.
Yeah.
Love it. Colin, you're about to go. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, no, I will say that tasting it, even though I said smelling it, the oak kind of overpowers the fruit. I think it's a little bit more balanced as far as the flavors are concerned. When you taste it, you still get a ton of that oaky, vanilla-y, woody flavor. but the fruit definitely kind of stands up to that. But it's big fruit. Like this is
Yeah.
an intense Pinot Noir. You think back
Yeah.
to last week and the Territorium Pinot Noir, it was like zippy and the fruit was fresh and vibrant. This is like
Yes.
the complete opposite of that, where the fruit is kind of jammy or even cooked,
Big
layered
time.
on top of all that oak, and it's a totally different style for sure. Like the
Yeah.
two wines going to be different. I'm not saying one is necessarily better than the other, but this
Mhm.
is a kind of a good juxtaposition for the two big styles of Pinot Noir.
The only thing that I was going to say too is, and this probably goes without saying, but boy, does this thing need some time to open up. If you are going
For
to be
sure.
trying this with us, I tasted this about 30 minutes ago when we first opened. And oh my gosh, all I was getting was that oak. And not even I wouldn't even say like the lovely vanilla and all that. It was just like oak to the face. And I figured, over time it was going to get better. And that is 100% the case in the situation. But everything you guys are saying, I mean, this is like, to me, I'm just picturing like cherries and plums sitting on a shelf for a little while, getting that like really sugary aspect toward the end,
Mhm.
and then making wine.
Yeah,
It's definitely like you
for
said,
sure.
it's the complete opposite of the fresh, bright, young, fruit that we tasted in last week. So, yeah, go ahead. You said you had some structural notes.
But before you do, I just want to name, like, I think that note's really important because I think just, for the listeners at home who have been with us for a while, you all know we generally kind of like sip along the wine throughout the episode and then we have our review at the end. I think this is a wine that if we had opened it, poured a glass, and reviewed it, folks would probably get a very different review than where I imagine we're going to be in the next couple minutes. Just
Yeah.
as like noticing the tone of our conversation now versus like the
Yep.
tone of our conversation when we first opened this bottle about 40 minutes ago. So I don't want to like underemphasize the importance of what Joel just said. Like this is a bottle you want to open and aerate or decant or do something or just let it sit before
For
you
sure.
drink.
Swirl it
Sorry.
really hard
100%.
for a while.
And I'll say structurally, it's pretty well balanced. It has some nice tannin, probably medium tannin. You can feel it. It's
Mhm.
it's nice that round and not too scratchy or anything like that. Nice acid, probably medium body. It's definitely a heavier. Again, I think this goes back to style, heavier style of Pinot Noir.
Mm.
But I think like overall, it's a rather well balanced wine.
But yeah, no, I agree on the structure. Like it's like we kind of joked a couple weeks ago. It was like medium everything. Like there's just like it's
Yeah.
it's this very just kind of like down the road. It's not super grippy. It's not super acidic. It's like medium bodied. Like it's not.
Mhm.
I don't know. Like it's just right down the middle. It is
Yeah. Yeah.
13.5% alcohol, so it'll probably kick you in the pants if you drink a lot of it. But yeah, nothing shocking happening.
All right. So since this is your wine this week, Aaron, we'll give you the honor of going last. Colin, I'll let you go first. I'll go second, and then Aaron can take us home.
Yeah, but did they like it? It's time for the review.
All right, yeah. So I'm gonna preface this by saying I am not a fan of this style of Pinot Noir. I think in general, this overly oaked Pinot Noir just kind of just smashes the beautifulness of the grape to bits because a lot of what you taste is the oak and you don't get all of the complexity that
Mhm.
Pinot Noir can bring with it. But having said that, this is actually a pretty good version of that style of Pinot Noir. Other versions of this I think of immediately are like Meiomi, which, everybody absolutely loves. If you like Meiomi, you would love this wine. If you're drinking Meiomi, go buy this wine because it's like the upgrade to that. I would say as far as the wine is concerned, if you were a fan of this, I would say it's a kitchen table wine. It's maybe not necessarily my kitchen table, but,
Mhm.
there's nothing. It's a pretty sound wine as far as the flavors and structure are concerned. I'm not necessarily going to be buying this and sharing this, but I think just as far as the wine in the glass is good enough for the kitchen table.
Very interesting. And I think it's something that we need to chat about for a second because you said this style of Pinot Noir. And
Mhm.
we all referenced a couple of times Jim Duane's from Territorium last week, the Pinot Noir that we all were very complimentary of and we all enjoyed a lot. And then this style, still Pinot Noir, kind of what you alluded to, not your style. So can you just share a little bit more about like what are the two styles? Is this the common? Is it like the two schools of Pinot Noir? And these are pretty good examples of the two schools.
Yeah, yeah, I'd say so. I think for the most part, you're either gonna get that racier, fresher Pinot Noir with light oak. Like the Territorium wine absolutely had some oak on it. So you're not gonna get the intense vanilla, the intense cedar flavors. But you'll almost never find something like this in the old world, especially like
Mm.
Burgundy. This is a more California style of Pinot Noir.
Because and this is honestly, I think, a really cool for the listener at home. If you want to really experience two different versions of what the same grape can offer, which I think is pretty cool, I would really recommend if you can get your hands on a Territorium Pinot Noir and this Pinot Noir because they're so different. And I was trying to figure out in my head too, like, why am I having such a different experience with this? And I think I'm probably along the lines of you too on this one, Colin, where maybe not my go-to style of Pinot Noir, but I got to tell you, as we've been drinking this throughout the show, and especially compared to what I had before, it's really grown on me. And as it's
Mhm.
opened up, it's gotten a lot better. So yeah, agreed. I think I prefer the brighter, younger kind of version or presentation of Pinot Noir, but for this style, I'm enjoying it, and I think it's a good representation. Not that I've had a whole lot of these, but a good representation of this style. Then, and I am at the end of the day enjoying it. So I'm a little torn. When I first tried this, I in my head I went, "This is gonna be a closet wine, maybe the front of the closet." As I'm enjoying it more, and as I'm learning a bit more, I think I might be escalating this to the back of the kitchen table. It's on the kitchen table. It's not quite teetering off, but it's toward the back. But it is on.
Just to go
Yeah.
back to your question, I think the difference in style is the other style celebrates the grape a little bit more,
Mhm.
where this is heavily influenced by the winemaker's hand. Like this much oak. We talk about terroir quite a bit. You can't taste the terroir in this wine because it's just been
Yeah.
absolutely hammered with oak.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big part of it too. But again, it's a choice in style of the winemaker.
You guys said, pretty much everything I was thinking. I'm relieved. When we first opened this up, I was a little
Aaron.
worried. I'm like, oh man, I brought
Yeah.
another wine to the table. That's gonna be a dud. But similar to you all, like as it's aired out and it's
Mhm.
kind of some of the heavier notes have kind of like burnt off and it's gotten out of the system a little bit. It's fine. Like I think like Colin, it's not my go-to type of wine,
Yeah.
but that is entirely a stylistic preference,
Yeah.
not a description of the quality of wine itself. So I think if again, this is your style of wine, kitchen table wine for sure. If you like a big jammy red oaky wine
Yep.
for 23
Aaron, what do you got?
bucks, really solid option, really cool wine, really cool backstory and a winery out in California. And to
Me
Colin's point,
too.
like it is a kind of a representation of the winemaker and like their desire to like make the wine and how they want the wine to taste. And that in itself is kind of cool in its own way. So kitchen table wine for sure. Not my jam, but jam. But other people's can be
Ah.
jam. Yeah.
Well done. Well done. Hey, I want to ask this question. We don't do this all the time, but I want to ask this because I'm having such a hard time with it internally. I want to see if you guys can share. Would you, and if you would, what would it be? Would you eat this with something? What would this accompany? I really can't put my finger on what I would
There's
enjoy
almost
this with.
too much taste to it
Yep.
that like I would eat this with a piece of bread because the piece of bread provides nothing but nourishment. And like I
Oh, so you're like,
so
if you're in survival mode and you find
yeah.
this bottle of wine and you're like,
There's
what
that Australian
ideas
woman
would
last year who like got lost in the wilderness and survived on like a bottle of wine that she had. This would be the wine that I would want if I'm lost
amazing.
in the wilderness. Probably high calorie impact and give me some flavor for a month.
There you go.
Yeah, if anything, I would say maybe some, like, barbecue or something like that, that also just has
Mm,
a ton of, like, really bold flavor.
town. Just
Yeah, right. Well, you need something that's gonna stand up to this, because if not, if you were to have, like, a delicate piece of fish, we talked about red wine and fish with
Yeah.
Jim last week. If you were to have a delicate piece of fish with this, it would just destroy that piece of fish. So, you need
Yeah.
something that's going to match its intensity. So,
Mhm.
something like barbecue might work, especially if it's smoky. This wine has that oaky,
Okay.
cedary smoke
Mm,
essence to it, so that might actually work.
good call.
so I mean, hey, like our Rotten Tomatoes score of a wine was not totally wrong. And Joel, just so you know, I've done some research in the background, going in order of movies from our youth. Highest rated, Independence Day at 68%, Twister 63%, Deep
What?
Impact 45%, Armageddon 43% critic score.
Wait a minute.
But
There's a world in which Deep Impact is rated higher than Armageddon?
only slightly, but to the point of today, the people sorted out, because if you go in the order of audience score,
Yeah,
Independence Day is still king, 75%, but then
sure.
Armageddon jumps up 73%,
Absolutely.
Twister 58%, and Deep Impact takes its rightful place at the bottom of the pack with 43%.
Agree with you on Deep Impact being the least great of those. Twister is getting the raw end of the deal right there. Twister,
Yeah,
I
Twister got a
rewatched that.
surprisingly low one.
It is a nonstop, action-packed thriller. Twister should be way higher rated than that. That's a
Cow,
great film. I don't
another
understand that.
cow.
That's crazy.
I think
We
that was
got
the same cow.
cows.
We got
Well
cows.
done. Well,
Sorry,
Colin
Colin, those
now
were all
is falling
movies,
asleep.
Colin. Those were
I've
See, when you
seen
take a lot of pictures and you run them together very fast and there's slight differences in each, it gives the impact or the illusion of motion.
Oh,
Together, you create stories.
okay. And what do you call those stories?
Talkies.
talkies.
Oh, maybe I need to watch some of these talkies then.
Yeah,
That
I think you
sounds
might.
kinda interesting.
They're never going to last, these talkies. Anyway, we've gone off the rails. What's the closest they got? Well, I think the one thing we can all agree though on is that Deep Impact is a waste of your movie watching time. Speaking of, I think we need to go back and talk about this one too. We don't always do this because it's usually, sometimes it's very clear cut if this is a waste of your wine or not. On this one, I just want to verify because we're all like a little lukewarm. Maybe we're giving it a notch up because while it's maybe not necessarily in our wheelhouse, we recognize that it's a pretty good example of this style. So I do want to ask you, I believe this was $23
Yeah.
that we picked this up for.
Mhm.
Pinot Noir that we all put on our kitchen table. Would you say this is a waste of your wine?
No, I
Aaron, I'm
wouldn't say
seeing
it's
you
a waste
shake your
of wine.
head. Okay.
No, again, like if this is a kind of wine that you like, not a waste of your wine at all. Now, if you went in looking for a Territorium style Pinot Noir and you got this, you'd probably find it's a waste of your wine because you wouldn't like it. But again, if you are into like a oaky, jammy Pinot Noir, it's $23. It's a great deal for a good Pinot Noir.
Sure.
Not a waste of your wine.
Yeah, Colin.
Yeah, I think stylistically it's a waste. And that's more personal than anything. I really don't like the style. And
Mhm.
even though this is, a decent wine, I really don't enjoy it. So I would never buy it again. I wouldn't recommend this to anybody because I'm such a stan for the other style of Pinot Noir.
Mhm.
So I would I
Right.
would say it's a waste because especially at $23, like there's so much more interesting Pinot Noir than just a little bit of fruit and oak to the face. I think it's just all personal preference, but I think you'd be happier with maybe something else.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and say it's not a waste of your wine for this reason. If I'm trying to give somebody an example of one end of the spectrum, this is one that I think presents itself well and represents what that would be. And I wouldn't worry about doing that. I think it's a strong candidate for this style. So I'm going to say not a waste of your wine. Clearly, I think like we're all thinking, there's some some wines that maybe we would prefer or that we've raved about a little bit more for maybe a lower cost point too. But for that reason, I'm going to go ahead and say not a waste of your wine. I'm glad we talked about that one. A little bit of disagreement there, but it's funny. We're all like right in the same area with little slightly different interpretations of things, but
Yeah.
that's why we're here doing this work for the people, and I think they're really going to appreciate this.
I drink this
That's
wine
right.
for the people. I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for
That's
you
right. Correct. Absolutely.
I'm definitely not doing this for me. Like,
Love it. All right. Well, there you have it. That is the Caliveda Reserva Pinot Noir 2022 that we tried. And even though we had a little bit of discussion about it, I think we're going to go ahead and call this one not a waste of your wine. Go ahead and try it out. Let us know what you think about it. Maybe this is exactly the wine that you love and you think we're crazy for talking about it so much here and you want everybody to try this. Let us know. We want to hear about it. And a reminder, there is no wrong answer when it comes to this kind of stuff. So let us know what
Very
you
true.
think. And Aaron, go ahead and tell the folks at home how they can interact with us.
Yeah, I mean, always you can find us on Instagram at Stop Wasting Your Wine. That's where we do most of our communication. You can see what's happening on our show. You can check us out at www.stopwastingyourwine.com and find out where we put our wines and kind of go back through all of the wines that we have reviewed in the past. Follow us on YouTube, subscribe to our channel, and you can find Colin dancing on TikTok.
still not on there, nor will I ever be.
Colin, you are insistent that you will not be dancing on our TikTok, but I feel like whenever
correct.
there's a moment where someone names something as impossible, seems
Yeah.
like an opportunity to me. If I make
Mhm.
a post about this, Colin,
Mhm.
what number of likes would be an acceptable target for you, where if that post gets that number of likes, you will actually learn a viral TikTok dance?
I want to throw
Oh,
100 out there. 100
yeah.
likes.
No, it would have to be like 5,000 because I'm not trying to. I'm
5,000
not trying
likes.
to.
5,000
Yes.
would be really good for us. It is a drop in the bucket of Instagram likes in the grand scheme of crazy viral things out there. So I'm hearing you say that if
Yeah.
we get a post or a reel to have 5,000 likes, you will learn a trending TikTok dance.
A short one, but yes, I will dance.
I mean, I don't
on
want to go
TikTok.
above your skill level. We'll find something.
Yeah, which is
No.
0. But yes, if we can get 5,000 likes, I will learn a TikTok dance.
That sounds like a challenge. I think we can
So,
make that happen.
so if you're
It is
watching
written.
this, don't like this. Thank you. And
False.
yeah,
This is
no, just don't
Colin
like
we
it.
are
danced before the internet.
Keep on scrolling.
Colin has
Keep
never
on
danced in his
scrolling.
life, let alone on
No,
social
that's right.
media. Let's go.
For
it's
sure.
happening. I think we're gonna make it happen.
No,
I
no,
think
I'm gonna start another campaign directly opposed to that, and we'll see who does better.
I have a good feeling about this.
Yeah,
All right, people,
it's gonna happen.
let's do this.
We got this.
Vote no.
Whether Colin is dancing on TikTok or not, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Thanks for joining us for another awesome episode of Stop Wasting Your Wine. We'll see you again next week. And remember, stop wasting your wine.
Bye, all.
Bye.